Goldman Sachs, I'm telling you, Goldman Sachs has a lot of money. Billions upon billions upon billions. And they see the metaverse as an $8 trillion opportunity. I'm telling you, this word trillion is massive. It's one digit with 12 zeros behind it, man. I got to pull this calculator out so y'all can understand what I'm talking about here, okay? This used to be wealthy. People that had, hundreds of thousands. If you had millions of dollars, meaning, just this many zeros, that was a lot of money. This made you a deca millionaire, 10 million. Look at the amount of zeros. You added 100 million, billion, 10 billion, 100 billion, trillion dollars. Do you understand the difference between a trillion and a billion and a million? This is a massive amount of money. Let me explain it to you. If I was to do this, watch this. If I was to divide this $1 trillion, divided by, how much is that? 1, 2, 3. That is hundreds of thousands. That's $100 million. Look at this. 10,000 divided by 365. Do you understand that just $1 trillion, you would be able to spend $100 million every single day for 27 years straight? Let me show it to you again. One digit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is $1 trillion divided by 100 million equals divided by 365 days. If $1 trillion was in your bank account, you would be able to spend $100 million every single day for 27 years straight. That means consecutively. Goldman Sachs is telling you that the metaverse is going to be worth $8 trillion, man. This is not something that you should be playing around with. You slide down here, right? And Goldman Sachs is backing Morgan Stanley, someone else, another large financial institution that manages hundreds of billions of dollars. They're also backing them, saying that they think it's going to be worth $8 trillion. Look, Citigroup, I got other stuff here that you're going to blow your mind. Citigroup is saying they believe it's going to be 8 to 13 trillion by the year 2030. This date right here is going to come back here in a second when I start talking about this. Citigroup, another large financial, that's 3 large financial institutions telling you that the metaverse is going to be worth 8 to freaking 13 trillion dollars. And they keep mentioning this year of 2030. Why is that important? Well, let me go over here and show you something. Pay attention. Killer use case. Citi says trillions in assets could be tokenized by 2030. Calvin, what does tokenization mean? What do you mean? It means taking something that has value, a real world asset, and turning it into a digital asset. Let me give you an example of that. Just what am I doing right now? What I am sharing with you is intellectual property. I am turning it into a digital asset right now. This live is being recorded. They always are. I can choose to make a live if I want to, or I can choose to break this up in 8 or 15-second clips on a TikTok timeline, or a 10-minute video on YouTube, or an infographic on Pinterest, or a 1-minute clip or 15-second clip on Instagram. If you're taking your intellectual property or something that has value, real world asset, and turning it into a digital asset, tokenizing it, it's going to be worth trillions of dollars. We're doing it now, but that information, all of this information that we're putting together, it's being controlled by a centralized institution. We don't own or control TikTok or Instagram or Pinterest or Google or YouTube. Those are centralized ecosystems. The blockchain allows for decentralization. You own and control your own wealth, crypto, but you also own and control your own band and IP. Your data will belong to you in the future on the blockchain. This is going to be worth trillions of dollars. I'm not telling you this. Citigroup, Morgan Stanley. Let me just continue. It's not a game. I'm going to tell you what projects I think you should be looking at when it comes to this, so you can take advantage of this. So we know that Citigroup is saying the metaverse is going to be worth 8 to 10 trillion. Listen, 8 to 13 trillion. That's the metaverse. Metaverse sits on top of the blockchain. Now Citigroup is coming in here telling you that there's also going to be trillions of dollars worth of assets being tokenized by 2030. Larry Fink. If you don't know who Larry Fink is, he is the CEO of BlackRock. BlackRock manages $10 trillion in assets. There's that damn word again. Watch this. BlackRock. Let's see here. 10, oops, let me go here. 10 trillion. Let me see if I'm making this right. Hold on. God dang it. Hold on. I need two hands to type here. I need two hands to type. Because I'll keep on telling you, I'm talking to you down about trillions now, not billions. BlackRock, 10 trillion. 10 trillion in assets under management. Let's see if that's true. Look, I'm either making sense to somebody or I'm just absolutely blowing a lot of smoke. BlackRock hits a record 10, there's that word, $1 trillion assets under management, man. 10 trillion in assets, BlackRock. Larry Fink is the CEO of this. This is coming from the Wall Street Journal, by the way, in case you think this is cap. That's Wall Street Journal talking to you right there. All right, now look. Larry Fink, the manager or the person who's over $10 trillion in assets, is telling you that tokens are the next generation for markets. Tokenization. The next generation for markets, right? Look, as you think of tokens as Bitcoin, right? Pictures of chimpanzees with sunglasses, they're talking about NFTs or non-fungible tokens. If you go through and you read this, they're telling you this thing is going to be worth trillions. This is Forbes magazine, by the way. I don't read bullshit. I like to read the stuff that matters. Forbes, okay? Let's go here and see this. Wait for it. JP Morgan holds a firm on plans to tokenize traditional finance. This is called, the short term for this called TradFi. For short, they call it TradFi or traditional finance. JP Morgan holds a firm plans to tokenize traditional finance. Let me go in here and watch this. JP Morgan is committed to tokenizing traditional finance despite upheaval in the cryptocurrency sector. Look, the bank's digital asset program, Onyx, is already being used by, who is it being used by? Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs is the same person that told you that the metaverse is going to be $8 trillion. They back Morgan Stanley. Do you see what happens when you start reading this stuff? But more importantly, I clicked on this for you. I already knew this, but I clicked on this and look what it tells me. Onyx by JP Morgan, transforming the way money, information, and assets move around the world. Wait, whoa. JP Morgan, you are a bank, but here you are telling us that you're transforming the way that money, information, and assets move around the world. That's tokenization. That is digital assets. That's blockchain all day long. What else you got for me, Calvin? Well, I got this. $1 trillion opportunity. There's that word again, trillion. JP Morgan becomes the first major bank in the metaverse. Say what? Yeah. JP Morgan opened a digital or virtual bank inside of the metaverse. The same metaverse that I just told you that Goldman Sachs and Citigroup and Morgan Stanley is telling you is going to be $8 trillion. JP Morgan becomes the first bank to open inside of the metaverse. Guess what it's called? The largest bank in the United States, JP Morgan, has taken a massive step into the metaverse, opening a virtual lounge in a popular blockchain-based world decentraland labeled the sector a $1 trillion opportunity. Guess what it's called? It's called Onyx. Look, let me go ahead and see if I can get it. Pull it up right here in front of everybody. Look, JP Morgan, Onyx, right? Metaverse. JP Morgan enters this is on the NASDAQ, y'all. Look, NASDAQ.com. You know who those guys are, don't you? JP Morgan enters the metaverse, unveils virtual lounge called Onyx. What did we say Onyx was? Transforming the way that information and assets move around the world. This is not a game, man. This is not a game. So what I did after doing this research, I said, I am going to bless my audience. I'm going to give them 2 projects that I think they should seriously consider being in their portfolio. We're talking about trillions of dollars from TradFi, centralized banking institutions that is moving into the blockchain at a very high clip. They are no longer slow poking this. They're filing for Bitcoin ETFs right now. And you think that that's not a big deal. It is. Remember, they already have a spot ETF for Bitcoin. A futures ETF for Bitcoin, but that's just paper. You remember this now. Let me show it to you, in case anybody is not paying attention to this and understands what I'm talking to. Money moves around different. Look. Real power players in the financial institutions, they own the real assets and they will sell you derivatives, the futures, shares, and options of it. This is just paper. Screenshot this so that you can be smarter than the people that go spend money around your community and your circle. They have no idea what's happening. The power players own the real assets and they sell you the paper version, derivatives, futures, shares, and options. They will not sell you the real asset. They hold that for themselves. Let me show you what I think you should pay attention to take advantage of these trillions. I think you should pay attention to this, Realio Network. I think you should pay attention to Realio Network. You could go here and you could type, where you can just click on this so you can read about it. Here's what I always tell people when I tell them, you know what? This is what people do. How many times have y'all heard this? And I'm going to tell you what it means. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your research before you invest your money. How many times have you been on a YouTube video and you heard that? Not financial advice. Do your own research before you invest your money. But what does that mean? Do my own research. What does that even mean? Well, I'm going to give you the steps. I'm going to give you like 4 or 5 steps that you should do before investing your money. And not just generic term, invest your money. Let me show you what exactly you need to do. Turn the camera around. Here we go. You go here. This is the ticker for Realio Network, Rio. Okay. You go here go to coinmarketcap.com. Coinmarketcap.com. Type in Rio. You will come up here, right? You'll see this. Now, first thing you want to do is you want to click on this. This is the website. Why do you want to do that? You want to make sure that they have one. You want to make sure that this is a legitimate company that basically need to have a website. So you can read here that the future of private equity is digital. Okay. You can go in here and you can read all of this stuff right here and you can do all of this and you can slide down here and you can read all of this, enabling exclusive access to institutional grade securities. Okay. All right. Wow. You slide up in here. What else can you do down here? You can find out who the tech partners are, community investors. You can find out who's talking about it. Reuters, Bloomberg, CoinDesk, Business Insider. You can just keep going. You can find Entrepreneur Magazine, FinTech News. That stands for finance and technology. So FinTech News. You go down here, you can read all kind of stuff. You can do everything you need. You can follow them on all their social platforms, right? Join their Discord to see what other investors think about this particular asset, okay? See what they're doing on their Twitter. Make sure that they are fully doxed, the team, right? on LinkedIn and stuff like that. Who's the team? Are they fully doxed? You could do all of this stuff by just going to the website. Can you not? Yes. So that's probably a good thing to do. Look at the market cap. The market cap right now is $1.4 million. Let me show you what that means. Well, let me just tell you this, right? If you was to 10x this, look, 1485, right? 219, right? If this project was to 10x, it would only put it at a $14 million project, right? If it was to 50x, these are small. Do you understand how much room this has to 50, 100, or 1,000x gain? It has plenty of room. All right. You might want to pay attention to this. Go down here. You can read, look at the markets or where you can actually acquire this right now. You can go down here, read a little bit about the price and live data. You can look at all kind of stuff about this. This is one I think you should pay attention to. The other one, put your seatbelt on, is this. Caspa. This one has a larger market cap, $684 million. Ranked 211 out of, look, it's ranked 211 out of like 26,000 cryptos. I don't know why that says 1.8 million. I don't know what's going on with that. There's about 26,000 cryptos. I don't know what happened there. But this one ranked 211. Click on this. And it tells you what Caspa is. You could go here and do the same thing. Resources, development, news about Caspa, find out what it is, what it does, right? I would seriously look into this. Let me show you what Caspa has done for the year. Just in case you are someone who says, nah, whatever. Here's your top 100 cryptos. Top 100. You see them? Here's your top 100 cryptos on the blockchain. That's a fact. I can actually go here and I can actually filter them by 100 to 1 or 1 to 100. So obviously that would start with Bitcoin and then it would fall all the way down to the 100th one, right? But here's what you need to know. If I slide over here and I was to filter this by what has made the most money for the year, that's 15,000% gain. That is Caspa. What do you mean? It means that this is a 100x project that you have already missed. What do you mean when you say 100x? Think about it. Look, it means if you only had $100 and that $100 times 15,372%. That's right. $100 would have went to 15,372. This is a 15,000% gain on this project. The same one that talks about what? The fastest open source, decentralized, and fully scalable layer 1 in the world. The world's first block DAG. We'll talk about DAG here in a minute. A digital ledger enabling parallel blocks and instant transaction confirmation built on a robust proof of work, not proof of stake, proof of work engine with rapid single second block intervals. You start reading through this. These are the things that are going to go hand in hand with everything that I was telling you when it comes to tokenization. When they're telling you that trillions of dollars in assets could be tokenized by 2030, stuff like Caspa and what I just gave you with Rio, those type of cryptos are going to be in line for that, especially Caspa.